This is actually an assignment for my class at Full Sail, but I thought it would be fun to share with everybody else. But this is how I make game reviews, and I'm hoping other people can follow it and maybe learn from it to help them have better reviews. First off, just play the game. Play the game for what it is, enjoy the game, and just focus on it. Just play it like you would play it for the first time. Don't think about reviewing the game because it's going to get in the way. Just try to enjoy the game for what it is. Simple, right? It is. The next step that you want to step into is just replay the game. Now you want to replay the game and take notes. What I do is I take a notepad and I just write pros and cons of the games. I talk about the mechanics that I liked. I talked about gameplay things that really came out to me, the multiplayer. What are things that I liked? What are things that I didn't? Get that on a list because it's going to help you review the game. It really will. Next step. When you review the game, you're going to want to review it objectively. Try to avoid comparisons. Don't talk about how this game is better than that game. No one cares, unless it's part of the series. Graphics are not a selling point. I mean, granted, good graphics are a great thing, but a game can have terrible graphics and be a great game. Pong is total proof of this. The things that I like to focus on, so you don't get lost in, oh, the graphics are really pretty on this game, or the graphics are better than anybody else. Focus on gameplay, the mechanics. Focus on replay value. Focus on the controls. Focus on voice acting and sound. Focus on the presentation, which technically could be graphics. And focus on multiplayer. Next, what I do is I go ahead and start writing the review. The first paragraph, I focus on selling the game. Basically here, you're just going to say what's on the back of the box. What is this game about? What does it do? Try to open up with a big statement that draws people in. It's as simple as that. Second paragraph, I focus on the story. Basically, this is just kind of a little bit deeper than what you said in the first paragraph, but talk about the story and your overall thoughts on it. What do you think about the game? What do you think about the story? Is it fitting? Don't spoil the game for people, though. Just give a premises of what the game is about. Third paragraph. Here you can talk about the mechanics and the control. Mechanics and the controls, excuse me. You can also talk about replay value a little bit here, but really focus on those and how the game works with the controller. Does it feel good? What are the mechanics like? Are the mechanics something that are enjoyable to play, especially if you're playing an RPG? Does it get repetitive? Talk about stuff like that. The fourth paragraph, I really focus on multiplayer, if it is there. People love multiplayer, so talk about it. What's good about it? What's not great about it? People also want to know about, split screen, 2-player. Is that an option in there? If it is, talk about that. People want to know about that. It's a great thing. I'm saying a lot. I'm failed because that's one of my things you shouldn't do. Step 5. Yeah, see, I did it again. Focus on presentation, sound, replay value. Really focus on that here. Mass Effect is a great example because when you play it again, there's a lot that you can choose to do differently. That's a selling point. And then obviously is the voice acting and sound good. Talk about it. Last paragraph, I just give a conclusion of the game, what I thought about it, and who you'd recommend it to. An important thing to know is all games are pretty much marketed to somebody. No game is complete trash. Well, for the most part. So just who would you recommend to that game? Who would you recommend that game to, and why? Some things to keep in mind. Do remember that every game had people's thoughts that were poured into it. People worked hard on it. Do focus on a word count and time limit because no one wants to watch a review over 10 minutes. They're just going to click out of that and find something else. And don't use scores and lettering. Games age. And to say Uncharted is a perfect 10 and then Uncharted 3 comes out, which is clearly better, and you were to say that it is also a perfect 10, it doesn't make sense and it's not fair. Just try to keep that in mind. I think, honestly, just talk about what the game is and who you recommend it to. Next, you just want to record the gameplay. Don't do slideshows of the game. No one wants to see screenshots. Don't put your camera in front of the TV and just record very poorly. No one wants to see that. There are devices such as the HD PVR and Dazzle, great devices. If you're going to talk to the camera directly instead of show gameplay, if you don't have boobs, no one's going to care. It's a sad truth. Exception to the rule, angry video game nerd, but seriously, boobs sell. I don't know why. Well, we know why. Now you want to record your voice. That's the most important thing to put in later. There's software for it. GarageBand is what I use. It's an excellent tool. Be aware of your surroundings. Make sure it's not echoey. I've seen people actually record with their child in the room. Seriously? Come on, people. Here, rule of thumb. Don't say or Yeah, failed on that one, didn't I? But seriously, don't. that uncertainty will cause people to turn away from your review. They're uncertain of the game that they want to buy, and when you do things like that, they might think, hey, this guy's not too sure. They're going to go to another video with somebody who can talk clear. It's the truth. Video editing there's a lot of software out there. iMovie is what I use. Microsoft Movie Maker is another great one, and it's great for sound fading when you splice in your actual audio of the recording. So I definitely recommend using stuff like that. Also in video editing, it's good to have a title screen, maybe a short intro. Try to avoid copyright or long intros. People don't want to watch a long intro. Yes, it could make you look more professional, but if that intro is over a minute long, people are going to get bored and just say, hey, I'm going to go watch IGN's review. Screw this. Try not to do that. And video editing, try to match up what you're saying in the review to what you're visually seeing. Otherwise, people are going to be distracted by what they're visually seeing. Go deeper than the first level. Obviously, don't spoil things, but show a little bit more of the game than the first level. That's very important. And, of course, avoid spoilers, which runs in with that. No one wants you to spoil the story for them. One of the other steps I do, I watch the video so many times before I upload it. I learned to hate my freaking voice in my reviews. But honestly, being your own troll is going to cause you to make sure that your review is 100% perfect. So definitely do that. You may not think it's a big deal, but try to upload in HD. If there's other people that have reviews in HD and you're streaming in a lower quality, people aren't going to watch your review. They're going to go for the HD one. Make sure that your title isn't a super long title. The shorter, the better. And tags. Make sure you tag the video very well. Anything that relates to it. It could be simple things. I mean, you never know. People will search weird things. What would you search when you were typing it? Put that in there. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. I hope that's helpful to you guys. It's a little hard to do this because I have a time limit for school, but yeah, hopefully it helps. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and let's hope I get a good grade. Probably not.